everyone, Chloe here. I was asked to show people how I did my Vriska horns. Well, they asked me how I did them, and it's just better to explain through video. So these are pretty good for a first try. I would like to redo them. First time ever making horns, and see a little black stuff on it and this and that. So I'm going to show you an alternative way to actually make them like this because it's easier. So I use Model Magic or Model Clay Magic by Crayola. I use probably about half this much of this packet for Vriska horns. I don't suggest paper mache. You can use paper mache. A lot of people use it. Personally, I think Model Clay Magic is easier to use. It costs a bit more. But if you want smooth looking horns, it's just way easier. But I also suck using paper mache, so if you want to use paper mache, go ahead. But this stuff isn't that bad. Like, it takes a long time to dry to where it's hard, but look, it is pretty damn hard actually. It can still break easily, but I would say it's pretty good, and it looks way better than if I use paper mache, because I can't do that. I suck at it. If you're making really big horns, use a wire in the middle. Maybe not this wire, but you know, you can find all this stuff at Michael's or some kind of craft store, maybe Walmart. That's kind of stretching it. So yeah, put some wire in the middle to help hold its shape. You know, more or less whatever you need to use. And if you're making really big horns that are like thick and everything, try to hollow them out. Like I hollowed these ones out after they dry, which was a mistake, but try to come up with a way to hollow them out. What you're going to need is Model Clay Magic, water for when it dries, because this stuff dries fast. And you know, it might not be completely dry fast. Like this took a couple of days to be completely dry, but also depends on like how big the horns are and how, you know. But as you can see, it's already starting to dry some. It's getting that little thing, weird crack stuff. Yeah, word vomit. Take some water, just rub it over it. So when you're not using it, have it in a baggie. I'm gonna put this in a baggie. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put this in a baggie. Make sure you seal it really good. My throat's getting dry. And these are some horns I've been working on earlier, and they're not perfect. I made them really fast, but I think they came out pretty good. I still have to go over some details, but I'm just making these for fun, like just a costume idea or whatever. So this is already starting to dry out. Oh, and you need a clay tool. I suggest not using pencil, but get something like this. You should be able to get at Walmart. If not, go to a craft store or any place that sells Sculpey, and you should be able to get it. Do not confuse Model Magic with air dry clay. I don't know why I got this stuff, but it's crap. It is complete crap. I made some beads out of it, and they crumbled months later, and I don't know why. So do not, under any circumstances, get this. Model Magic is better for some props and everything else. Like a lot of people, I've discovered some cosplayers use it. I'm actually a beginner cosplayer. Vriska is my very first cosplay. The more you know about me. Anyway, so I think I'm just going to make little horns here. Simple, basic horns. Now, if you're making really big horns, I suggest splitting up into sections. And I'm going to stop again to talk. Vriska's horn. You would do this in about 4 sections. This is not how I made her horns, and I'll show you how I made them, and it's a lot more difficult. From here to here, all one piece. Then, right here, because her horn splits off at the end, do that as a separate piece. Then the top and then the bottom, and attach it, and then add in detail. That is a much easier way to do it than the way I did it. So, you can make them really pointy or not, whatever you want to do. Here's our horn. And I hope you can see well, because I'm not redoing this video ever again, because this is like my 5th take, because things are too bright and such. So, what you're going to do, and then can I zoom this in some? Okay, zoom out a little. Alright. You're going to take this and just press in how deep you want the impression on the clay. So if you want this more rigid, as you can see, you're going to press more, and then it'll be more rigid. And then, you know, if you don't want to do that all the way around that rigid, or just want to end that line, just slowly like ease it off and do whatever. But I'm gonna leave this really deep. Now you don't have to make it a ring around exactly, like all around the horn. And be careful on how deep you make this, because you make the horn weaker when doing that. And you don't always have to, you know, go over your horn, just make little impressions. At least horns, to me, that's how they look. They're not supposed to be perfect. And yeah, so this is really easy, as you can tell. You just have to take your time and not rush. And also be prepared to have to go back over this. Because what I suggest is when you go back over it, do it, like go over it again, like this little section. Because if this is drying and starts, you know, becoming difficult to work with, you can always wet it and keep it smooth. But wetting this, you'll pretty much lose any details you were working on. So yeah, and if you accidentally cross over, it doesn't look that bad. Like if you actually just go, oops, see? I think that looks pretty cool. Just a little womp. And you can continue the line or whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter. There's no rules to, you know, how much you space, because you can, you know, make a whole bunch of little lines really close, or you can even like do hardly any along this horn and just do something like that, see? And you don't even have to make a deep impression, just really lightly. Then if you want to do that, you can just keep making big spaces and you don't have to do them close together. I like doing stuff close. I like mixing it up, really. Like, you know, do some light dents. I'm calling them dents. I'm making dents in clay. Woohoo. And I'm just doing one side to show you, because I do not feel like doing this whole horn. But when you're going all the way around and doing it, you're going to have to go back over. Like, maybe 2 or 3 times. You know, go back, redo it, and then maybe let it dry some and just impression it. Make a little impression over it again, and blah, blah, blah. I am talking so much. I hate my voice. So, yeah. There you go. Something like that. As you can see, this does look different though, right? The impressions are not as deep and blah 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 blah. This is more like you see it all, right? So if you want it like that, just keep making deeper and deeper marks.